Muhammad Ali has entered the building. How are you doing, bro?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah.
How's your Ramadan?
Alhamdulillah, it's all like back and forth, but Alhamdulillah, it's very good, very productive.
Yeah.
Just like working on a project, just landed, came back from Turkey. And the funny thing is this, like yesterday's night before the flight, I came across this video. I don't know, someone commented it. Yeah. What happened is, the video we made started getting comments recently, and then people, like two or three people actually, it was not that many people, but they were commenting. Professor Dave, something like did a reaction or something like this, right? So I just googled the link and the name, and then I saw the video. I honestly just put it into X speed, and before sleeping, just like for half an hour, I just watch bits and parts of the reaction, and I found it very funny. It's very. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Have you looked
I,
at it?
I haven't seen it, but I know this guy. He had a debate with So first thing, Muhammad, I just wanted to let you know this guy's not actually a professor, right? So we shouldn't get
Really?
happy that a professor made a 3-hour video. He's a charlatan. He's a high school teacher who makes YouTube videos, right? So I don't know, like, how are you gonna make a video on YouTube claiming other people don't understand or they're charlatans or whatever when you yourself have 2 million subscribers and you call yourself a professor and you don't have a PhD, you've never been a professor. I mean, shameless behavior, right? What a way to put it. But anyway, it's not about that. He debated an actual professor, right? He debated
Mm,
an actual professor
mm,
and James Tor, and James Tor humiliated him. And
mhm,
this guy was so cringe. This guy was so pathetic. He was doing personal attacks. And I was thinking, how can you do personal attacks against an actual professor when you yourself call yourself a professor, when you're not a professor and you don't understand what the literature says? And you know what I thought? I thought, you know what, this is fantastic. He's made a 3-hour long video on us.
mhm,
So if he's made a 3-hour long video, which must have taken him a long time, and the video that we made was made last year, so obviously this has been on his mind for some time.
mhm.
So if this is the case and he has time on his hand, then surely he's going to have time to do a one-on-one debate. And so I'm going to offer him fully paid trip to the UK, hotels, flights, everything covered. Anything else that he wants covered will be covered as well, inshallah, for a debate on, is Darwinian evolution a fact and is intelligent design science? Because the way I think about it is, people like this, you need to make them feel humiliated. You need to make them squirm. You need to put the heat on them, because in that debate between him and James Tor, I felt like, you're debating an academic here. You need to be humble. Like, look, I'll be honest with you. I debated Professor Stephen Law, right? And I'm
Mhm,
not a professor. So even though I disagree with him and he's an atheist, I had to, act in a certain way because he's a professor and I got to deal with him in a certain way.
mhm,
Then when I had a discussion with Professor Pritchard at Birmingham University,
mhm.
again, he's a professor. I disagree with him, but I have to speak with a level of respect. I have to speak with a level of, just
Humbleness. Yeah, yeah.
humbleness, right? I had Professor Michael Roos on my channel, and again, he's somebody who's an atheist. I'm a Muslim, but I
Mhm.
had to have a certain a certain level of respect, a certain level of
Demeanor. Yeah.
demeanor, right?
Mhm,
A certain demeanor.
mhm,
Because look, at the end of the day, whether we agree or we disagree, he's at a higher level. So here's a man who claims, that he claims the title of professor. He
mhm.
doesn't even have a PhD, and he has the audacity to make a video on other people claiming that they're misrepresenting stuff when he himself is in his very title claiming to be a professor when he's not. And the way he was acting, I'm going to send you the link on WhatsApp, inshallah. The way he was acting during the debate with James Tor, and the way that he attacks other intelligent design proponents like Stephen Meyer and Michael B, who are all academics, who are all, people who have published stuff,
Mhm.
it just shows a level of delusion. It's like, do you actually know who you are? Do you actually realize how ridiculous you actually look? Anybody with two brain cells will look at the conversation between you and James Tor and say, you just made a fool of yourself. So
Mm,
what I'm planning on doing, Muhammad, is I'm going to bring him to the UK and I'm going to talk to him on his level, because I'm not a professor. He's not a professor. So we're going to
Mhm.
talk on the level, right? So I'm going to do to him what I did to Aaron Ra. And I've seen that actually he's shared platform with Aaron Ra. So his arguments aren't going to be far off. They're going to
Mm.
be pretty similar. He's got 2 million subscribers. So this is a fantastic way of showing a lot of atheists who must be watching his content that a lot of the things the atheists have been saying and the Darwinists have been saying for the last 150 years about Darwinian evolution is false. A
Mhm.
lot of the philosophical arguments that they've been using are faulty. And when you take people like this from behind a screen where they feel confident and you bring them in person and you put the heat on them, you stick it on them, that's when these people melt and that's when these people really break down and you can see how faulty their arguments are. So that's the plan, and I wanted you to give your words and your insight into this challenge I'm going to put to him, inshallah.
Yeah, yes, I didn't know that. Like, obviously, you would assume someone is a professor when he puts professor in his title. Like, that's just a basic thing, right? But I've noticed why he cannot be, basically what I've
Mhm.
watched from the review display that this person have no idea about academia, how to speak as an academic person, or how to refute content or whatever that person made in an academic manner, because that was not his reaction video. That, at least what I've seen from it, because I definitely don't have 3 hours to waste, right? I was already traveling before my sleep. I just, like, put the 2x, watch like 1 hour of the video or something. And I was like, is this really the level of response that you're coming with? Someone who is a 3 million base subscriber, or whatever it is, this is the level of response you're coming with. But
This guy, he's actually really cringe the way he attacks academics, right?
uh-huh,
I
uh-huh,
mean, okay, when I'm talking to a random guy, I'm talking to a random guy. When I'm talking to an academic, even when I met Richard Dawkins, right?
mhm,
And I disagree with Richard Dawkins. He had an event and I was speaking to him. I asked him some question about philosophy and stuff. I totally disagree with him, but there's a level of, okay, so this guy, he's above me in a certain way academically, right? So I gotta behave in a certain way. So what I want to do with this guy is I don't want him to hide behind the screen.
mhm,
I don't want him to, we make a video, he makes a video, or
mhm,
he jumps on a live stream where he feels confident in his little
mhm,
base mom's basement or wherever he is, right? God knows
mhm,
where he is. What we need to do is bring him in front of a live audience
mhm,
where live audience can interact with him, where I can put questions on him. Because when I had a debate with Alex O'Connor, right, I chose to debate him in person when he made a video reaction to me. I
mhm,
chose to debate Aaron Ra in person when he made a video against me.
mhm,
I am not of those people that's like, oh, let's hide live stream and do a video
mhm,
and you're comfortable. No, let's. I want to see his reaction
mhm,
when he's making these claims, and I actually want to ask him that, how can you shamelessly call yourself a professor? Like
mhm.
I actually want to stick it on him. Some of these things they just show a person's level of self delusion that okay, I'm going to make these videos, I'm going to mock people, I'm going to say certain things, and I'm going to, in a way, I'm going to do what James Tor could not do, right?
Mhm,
James Tor is a fantastic academic. He publishes papers, he knows what he's talking about. But James Tor still had to, just stick to the argument. He just had to stick to, the points. He had to bring it back. He had to show that Dave didn't know what he was talking about.
mhm,
But what I want to do is,
mhm,
inshallah, I want to show that actually this guy has nothing to offer. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So I'm going to prod him. I'm going to push him. I'm going to, and with interrogations, right? And this is where you really get in the meat of a debate. When a person's putting up a front and you make a point, they make a point, but when you stick it on them, when you
mhm,
actually stick it on them and you know where they're going with that, and you can lay a trap, and I did this with Aaron Ra, alhamdulillah, I did this with others,
mhm,
you can show people live this guy has no idea what they're talking about. And that's when their public, demeanor and their decorum all falls apart because they're in front of a live audience and they're getting humiliated,
mhm,
right? And they
mhm.
start stuttering and they start doing all those things. So I'm looking forward to this. Obviously, I'm going to invite you to the debate as well. In fact, I'm sure he's going to have a word with you as well. But yeah, I mean, that's the plan. That's what I want to do with this guy. And you said, what if he doesn't accept? I'm not going to accept anything less than an in-person debate because this is what I do and this is my track record. And
Yeah,
I'm not.
I had something else in mind basically when I say if he doesn't accept. I don't care whether he accepts or not. Basically, I'm
Yeah.
saying there is something that we could do that would, in a way, if he doesn't accept, he lost. And if he accepts, he lost. Either way, basically, it's a lose-lose for him. And essentially, look, my issue, anyways, like with the debating format, is something essentially that you said, is where you have time for this individual and time for this individual. You're not really able to put someone on the spot. So this level of interrogation is extremely important because it displays someone's ignorance. While if you have just 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, someone can just like say any nonsense, and he doesn't get called out on it. So this level of cross-firing or back and forth is extremely important, I think, when it comes
Yeah,
to this. Yeah.
it
You're
does.
gonna say
But
something? Yeah.
there's something else that I did with Aaron Ra, right? So I had a debate with him.
Hmm.
After the debate, he was making some points, and I
Mhm.
made some. I carried on discussions with him.
Mhm.
Then he turned up in Speaker's Corner and had a second debate. So look,
Mhm.
we can afterwards dismantle the debate and said, "You said this, I said this." I did this with Alex O'Connor as well
Mhm.
afterwards.
Mhm.
And actually, he's a respectable opponent, right? I
Mhm.
have to say, Alex is actually a nice guy,
Mhm.
and he actually knows how to talk to
Mhm.
people who are more senior. This guy doesn't. This guy has no respect for people who believe in, intelligent design. Who,
Mhm.
that's enough for him,
Mhm.
right? That basically for him that means I can talk to this guy like he's a child
Mhm.
simply because he believes in God. Well, I believe in God, right?
Mhm.
I believe in Allah. I believe in God. I
Mhm.
believe in intelligent design as a theory.
Mhm.
Um, come speak to me. Come
Mhm.
speak to me. Let's have a chat. We can do all these back and forths. But what I wanted to do and what I'm going to be adamant about
Mhm.
is that it has to be in person, bro.
No, no, that is
Yeah,
definitely a fantastic idea. Essentially what I was gonna say is this, right?
yeah.
You've put out the challenge already now,
Yeah.
and I don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna reach out to him or send him a
I'm
video.
gonna
Or,
probably
yeah,
take out this clip and send it to him.
yeah.
Because what I'm worried about, what happens, and I'll tell you, this has happened to me before.
Mhm.
When you contact an academic, they can go blank on you. So I
Mhm.
was attacked by one of these, Darwinists, right, on
Mhm.
Facebook. When I contacted him one to one,
Mhm.
he just blanked me. And
Mhm.
another time, it was just a straight up no, right? I'm not
Mhm.
going to debate you. Another time, I tried to, long story short, with these people, you have to stick it on them because
Mhm.
now their audience is watching. Now
Mhm.
the audience is watching, right?
Mhm.
And the thing is, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting here in London. He's sitting in America, right? So
Mhm.
the thing is, he's going to have to eventually respond.
Mhm.
And if he has 3 hours to
Mhm.
watch our video and make a response and expose, his audience to us, then I'm sure his audience is going to be like, well, why aren't you accepting in-person debate, Dave? So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah,
That is exactly the point that I was gonna make. So I was gonna say, if he does accept it or he does not accept it, we can easily make a simple video on the video that he made and say, okay, we're welcoming you to come to London. We're gonna pay for your travel. We welcome you to come here since you are the knowledgeable person. Because his whole video is this. I've
yeah, come,
watched for, yeah, exactly, from 1 hour. The hour video that I watched was this, like, look, this guy, he keeps putting out on links, but he's not reading them. If I was reading every single link we put in that video, the video would be 20 hours for the people who are watching. So essentially, he was trying to say these people are ignorant. They have no academic education. And I'm assuming he's calling himself the professor, of course, the academic knowledgeable person who studied. But you're telling me that he's not even a professor. Why
yeah.
would you make a 3 hour video, a reaction video, since you got the time, and you've got your drinking bottle? He was drinking alcohol in the night. So it seems like you got nothing to do with your life, and you got a bottle drinking alcohol for tea.
It's so depressing. That is
Honestly,
the way of
like,
making a
I was
video.
like, this guy must be depressed. And he said, and he's saying, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this video. I like he's got like a 3.5 hour video or something with an alcohol bottle during the night. He said this over plus, next day he's already 1 a.m. to a.m. doing that reaction. So he's got nothing to do in your life, and you depressing have an alcohol bottle. Okay, so we have here, we're extending the olive branch, and we're being generous enough to invite you and pay for your
Yeah,
expenses. Come here to London and have an engaging discussion, since you are the so-called professor, the expert in the field, and speak to Brother Sabur here and tell us, all of the things that we did not know, and educate us on the topics that he's already set forth, which is
absolutely.
evolution a fact,
Yeah,
and is intelligent design science. So we would like these topics now, since this is your counter kind of position. So we'd like,
abs-
yeah.
absolutely. And you know what I would say? What I would say to this guy,
Mhm.
Dave, is I would say to help you in your journey, right? Of obviously you're going to prepare for this debate and stuff. I want you to watch my content, and obviously there's a lot of content out I have out there, and so you may not have time to watch everything. So I'll tell you exactly what to watch. I'm going to invite you to something which is really important, because actually there's two books I'm working on. Well, there's one I'm working on, there's one I'm going to be working on soon, inshallah, when it comes to intelligent design. So there's a discussion on my channel. I just recently had it between William Dembski and Michael Roos about debating design from Darwin to DNA.
Mhm.
So this is the 20-year anniversary of their Cambridge publication that they did many, they're going to be doing a new version as well, probably. So anyway, that video, I recommend you watch that video. You watch it attentively. You watch it with a sincere heart. You try and understand what's going on. That video will help you in your debate, in which I'm going to argue that intelligent design is actually science. So you can't claim, oh, he's bringing up stuff I don't know. Don't worry. Just watch that video and you'll get a clear idea of what I'm saying. Look, fundamentally, it's about God. This is why Darwinism is important to them. So that's why we're going to have that as the first debate. The second debate that we're going to have is this. Go watch my discussion with Aaron Ra. Okay. That discussion I spoke about, is Darwinian evolution a fact? That's going to be the second debate. Have a watch of that discussion and understand what I'm saying, what he's saying, and then it's going to be very clear in your head. After you've seen these two videos, I recommend you watch a third video, which is my discussion with Professor Jeremy Pritchard, which is, does evolution undermine God? Does evolution undermine God? There's 3 videos, Dave. Okay. These 3 videos will give you all of the information you need to take me on fully for this discussion. And I'm going to lay out my cards on the table. Okay. Nowadays, if you believe in God, right, that's like a crime to these Darwinists, right? So from that perspective, I'm a criminal. I am happily acknowledging I'm a believer. Okay. My position is very clear. I believe intelligent design to be science. So I'm going to argue for that. And your position is that it's not science. So don't try and be vague about it. No, you've made yourself clear already that you don't believe it to be science. So that's going to be the first debate. The second debate is Darwinian evolution a fact? I'm going to argue categorically that it is not a fact. And what you need to do is you need to categorically argue it is a fact. These are the 2 debates that we're going to have in front of a live audience where they can ask all the questions they want. The videos of these debates will not be, edited, manipulated, whatever, because you'll have full access. I'll have full access. No copyrights here, right? It won't be like, this, that. No. We will have full access. Okay. Now, according to this generous offer in which you will be paid to come and you'll be able to, enjoy London, enjoy the sights and scenery or whatever, and enjoy what you like to do, which is have a debate. So this generous, beautiful offer, which you're getting, you're going to find it very difficult to say no to this in front of your audience, because your audience is going to be like, we can smell a coward here, right? So, I mean, that's the way I like that. That's what I did with Aaron Ra as well. I just put him in a position where for him to reject a debate, it would just
He's already lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the thing is, he agreed with the point that I made in our initial discussion, which is that they are making the claim. They are making the claim that evolution is a fact. He agreed with that, by the way. And he said, we show you guys evidence all the time. That means in the discussion with you, he's supposed to show us, because it's not our position, it's their position. They are supposed to justify and give evidence that evolution is a fact, and he's welcome to do that in the discussion that he has with you, because the onus of the claim is on him. And this is a very essential point to keep in mind, is that it's not on you to show that it's not. It's on him first to show and give us this absolute evidence that it is a fact.
And the onus is on me in the first debate to show that
intelligent design
is a scientific theory. So it's actually fair. The first onus is on me on the debate. The second onus is on him on the debate. And what I wouldn't mind doing afterwards, is what I did with Aaron Ra. We went out to eat. We had a nice chat. And, we sometimes have our bickering moments, but it's still, we're humans. We get along and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, look, Muhammad, you are out there. You're debating people. You're discussing, all types of topics with people. I think it's it's in your interest, it's in my interest, it's in his interest that we have this lively discussion. And
Mhm.
yeah, what else do you have to add to this?
Yeah, yeah. What I have to add to this is if anyone watches this person, Dave, and you didn't know that he was not actually a professor, I think you should question that. You should question him on that. Why does he call himself a professor in the title? Since he's very concerned about terms that we use and terminology and being accurate about what you say, he's supposed to be accurate about not calling himself something that he isn't, and necessarily call his channel something that he isn't. So that is the first thing that I would say. The second thing is that if you guys are impressed with him, that I think all of you should watch. If he is about, if he is actually as confident as he makes himself appear, he should have no issues with being fully generously paid for travel expenses and coming here face to face and having something formal in which you have an education with Brother Sabur. Now, if he refuses for whatever reason, whatever silly justification that he would
My
give,
my my feeling is he's going to reject it. That's my
yeah,
feeling. That's why
and
I
this is
want to, yeah.
and this is why I'm addressing his audience. That if he does, then all of you should know that this person is a fraud because he's able to
Well,
do it behind.
he's already a fraud because
Yeah,
he calls himself a professor.